Good day, guys, and welcome back to Season 4, Episode 10 of the Supercoach Swordplay podcast. You're on with me, Janath. I'm joined with Spills, and we'll be joined shortly by our spiritual leader, DR. He's just running some errands at the moment. He'll be with us very shortly, but we'll get straight into it. Spills, how you going, mate? Did you have a good week?
Not as good as you, mate. Talk about a season for the ages. You're absolutely flying at the moment, and I'm a bit shattered myself because I had a week, but that donkey F6 come back and bit me in the ass again. So yeah, Jones 8 at F6. I was listening to it in the car, Triple M, while I was watching the local footy, and Darcy Jones subbed out for the rest of the game and started the second quarter or something. And I could have literally. Oh, I don't know. I could have just screamed right there and then. I was like, not again, surely not. I knew I'd field him over Cadman, but we'll get into that later. But so all Supercoach aside, really, really great weekend. Spent it with DR in Melbourne, watching the Dons take good care of North Melbourne. It was a bloody hostile environment for North Melbourne. 95% of that stadium was just all Essendon. And we did not want to lose and, got the job done. Caught up with George as well at halftime. So, really nice day all in all. And, the Bombers are second on the ladder, so I'm absolutely stoked with that. And real quickly today, Janath, I was, real short here. I'm playing footy again, obviously. So I went to Intersport to get myself some footy shorts and stuff because it's a real sort of sudden decision getting back into it. And the chap that served me, I could be wrong here. I think his name was Jack, if I've read his name tag right. He was a fan of the podcast, and he asked me how my Supercoach team was going. So really small world. So, shout out to him.
That's awesome.
I said I'd give him a shout out in the podcast. So, hope he's doing well. And, great service there at Intersport Bicknells Bendigo. So, shout out to him. But, Janath was a really, really good week. I think we'll get to the scores in a sec, but I did score pretty well if you rule out another pretty bad captain. Got greedy. I think we all did.
I think
Ryan VC, but we'll get into that later on, mate.
That's it. Well, good to hear, mate. I had a good week as well. I guess every week, just in these wintry months, every day feels very short. There's not much sunlight. But looking back to going to the footy this week, obviously the boys are coming back. The Blue Baggers are coming back from Sydney with a loss. So hopefully we can rectify things in the weekend against the Sunnies at Marble with the win. But I guess before we jump into our scores, just a couple of housekeeping things. Obviously, here's our weekly update with the Good Friday appeal. We've now raised $120. We've sold 24 beanies. As always, $5 from every beanie, like the one that our gorgeous Spills is wearing right there and there.
It's not bad. Where's yours, Janath?
Oh, mine's in the wash. I know it's a cardinal sin in your eyes, but it's in the wash.
Oh no! Right.
Every $5 from every beanie will go to the Royal Children's Hospital Good Friday appeal. So thank you to everyone that's bought a beanie. I hope you guys all have them, and you can see some of our members of the Wall of Fame that have got their beanies this week. So we've got a couple of DR's channel members then, Harry and also John O'Carroll. Good mate Dylan at Twads 13, and also your hero Phil's George.
George has bought a beanie, so he's all definitely one of my heroes. Yep. No, we love George. It was great to see.
That's it, mate. So
we'd seen him in a beanie, isn't it? Like someone that I idolized when I was like 19, when he was the only real Supercoach YouTuber, and thought one day I wonder if I could get to that sort of status. No one's going to get to the peak of George in the YouTubing community, but to see him wearing our merch, mate, is unbelievable. Crazy. Really good bloke too. So it was great to catch up with him on the weekend. But continue on.
Humbling. It's very humbling in that way to just see like big content creators like that wear your merch. It's just like our merch. It's like what we created, and obviously goes towards a good cause as well with the Royal Children's Hospital. Here's some others as well. Our sort of poster boy in a way, Damo SC, Footy Mailbag. Big shout out to them. It was good fun being on the podcast last year, back then on the Mailbag. But great stuff you guys doing. And also, can we just get a quick shout out to a couple of legends there, Kata and Tim Mitchell. So Tim obviously does a lot of work with the groundskeeping behind our great game. And just in the comments, maybe write down which one of them wore a better Kata or Tim there. I reckon they want to figure out themselves as well. So,
You've got the logo straight. I'm satisfied. You've got to
brownie
fix
points. That's
what's
it.
going on. What is going on with that?
You got to wear the beanie properly if you're going to wear it, isn't it?
Mate. It just.
But yeah, as always, if you guys do want to get merch, it's always at our official website, www.supercoachswordplay.com. You can still get 5% off your first purchase, and obviously the channel members, you guys know your unique discount code as well. Let's get into our round reviews. So I might as well just kick us off here. So 24.86. I did use my last boost, and it was semi-impulsive, but at the same time, it was something that I wanted to get it done with, because I felt that it was either fielding Zorko and Sullivan or fielding Rankine and Fisher. And so I did the boost. I went, okay, let me get the right Garcia here. Hugo Garcia from the Saints.
Yep.
Colby McKercher and Harley Reid out. So Reid obviously came to bite a lot of us back in the backside.
It is
and
what it is.
Came in Isaac Rankine. 61 point fourth quarter, and he does his hamstring on a magical last play. It's just one of those trades where it's like it felt so good for so long, only to just go bang.
Yeah.
But that's right. The process was there and the result was there. You just couldn't predict that he would do a hamstring on the last play. So that's right. We'll live by it. Zach Fisher in that same trade. So you see that the logic worked. Rankine and Fisher outscored Zorko and Sullivan by about 60 points. Now, yes, Zorko went 160, but he's got the bye next week. That was just the move that I sort of wanted to make. And then Lockie Sullivan, Bruce Revel in hindsight, probably a better selection. But again, there's some missing players for Collingwood that should help Lockie Sullivan's job security. So all in all, now went up 197 spots. So closing in on the Summits Bills, 263rd in the world now. I guess one of the big things, one of my aims is to be top 100 at the end of the bye round. So we'll talk a bit of bye strategy later, but it's sort of like the holistic thing where you're not looking at it 1 week by week in the buys. You're looking at it as like a 4-week block. Can you be in front at the end of that 4 weeks? Spills, handball over to you. How do you go, mate?
No, look, I'm backing you in right there, mate. I think you're going to come home really strong. You've started off like a house on fire, and I think you'll continue your red hot form. So we're all rooting for you, mate. But myself, again, not as great as you. But look, I'm not too livid about this one because I did just address the Darcy Jones 8 at F6. Unfortunate.
Brutal.
It's basically a donut, really, in a week where there's no buyers. So that one sort of hurt. And I'm not too flat about the Ryan VC and then captaining Gorn, lost another.
Everyone did it.
Points. Everyone did it, and it was greedy anyway. So you kind of deserved it. Well, it was. I mean, you could have just banked that Ryan, and who Gorn never had the best history against West Coast anyway. So it is what it is. Had it on Butters. Listened to the great DR's advice. He said I think he's going to go pretty average, and it is. Yeah, it's another.
It was looking average. And then he came out like a house of fire.
60 points. Yeah, 60 points I think he scored. Yeah, crazy. Man. He's crazy. So, there was that too. So, 2 weeks in a row of a really dodgy F6 and a butchered captain. So, I think with the trades that I make this week, I can really bring myself back into the comp. So, it's not too bad. I'm in the top 10K now. So, at least I've lost that 5-digit rank. So, I'm happy with that. I actually bought in Brucey Boy instead of Sullivan. Again, DR talked some sense into me on Friday night. We had a bit of a discussion. He rated Brucey's job security a little bit more. So, I think that was the right move. Got DPP and still scored really, really respectably. So, I think it'll be a good rookie for us moving forward. But who else I bring? Dane Zorko. So, bought in Zorko as well. So, DR and I, exactly the same trades. Did trade out Harley Reid. But I think anyone would agree where it was the right move because you see that 120 break even, you back him in, but what a player Harley Reid's going to be. I wasn't even...
Man, he's going to be a keeper for us for so long in the future.
In the forward line too, probably. So he's going to be like the next-gen Dustin Martin almost. But I wasn't even mad about watching him play good. I just thought, what a generational talent this is. So good to watch and Like, look, we did miss out on a 130 from basically a rookie, really. And he's just reset his break even, but did use him to get Dane Zorko. So I'm going to count this one as this is a W, I think, in hindsight. Bit unlucky, but yeah, really, really winning out with Zorko. And I think if you don't have Zorko now, you're going to have to wait until well after his bye because he's going to be F1 after this week, Janath, and then he's got his bye. So coming back post-bye, I think it's going to be really difficult to get in. So right call, I reckon. But look, 2,373, which, when you take into consideration Jones and then a pretty poor captain, I think it's fine. And McKercher on the bench too, probably going to get rid of him this week. So, look, there's just a lot of depth that I missed out on. It is what it is. But yeah, we'll come back, mate. I'm really happy with my team. Just a little bit unlucky each week.
If you can get into the top 5K, I reckon after the buys. If I know you've got good buy plan. You'll be in the top 5K.
I think I will. Yeah, I'm backing it. But yeah, and
I'll just do a very quick round review for DR. So across the team, VC Brian into Gorn obviously did the same trades as you spilled. Zorko was sort of like that big shining light. And then Alex Sexton, 118 off the bench. DI and I both had the emergency on him, and we just took it. You just have to take. You got to move heaven.
No, you're not gonna bank that one.
And just very quickly, Luke Jackson as well for DR came up trumps there, 154. It's as a non-owner of Jackson and as someone that traded out Marshall, seeing Sean Darcy ruled out was the worst case scenario because Sean Darcy would have nullified Rowan Marshall and he would have meant Jackson was playing forward. And neither of those.
It was good for me too, Janath. I'm also a Jackson owner. So.
You boys got very lucky. Which I just want Sean Darcy back, but it was like the perfect matchup just to settle some nerves. And then they look at them, both of them went 150, and you're like, what the hell, man? This is just, that's just mental. Just very quick shout out. I forgot to mention in my team, I've held this guy all season long. People have been trading him
I know
out.
this is going.
I had no idea that he had it in him this year. Luke Davies Uniacke from the Clouds, 152.
Oh, mate.
Take of our son. Oh, that's
just seeing live, just clearing. Like, couldn't win a clearance in that first half. It was just off the back of him. He was just put North on his shoulders. It was pretty scary early because I actually thought we chance of losing, but he was superb, mate. Finally he did the right thing holding.
Vindication. It feels like vindication because I held him through some very, very bad games. So we'll take it.
It's good because you're not trading out a rookie. It's a good message you sent because you want to get rid of rookies before underperforming premiums. So that you can always sideways trade them at a buy, but at least you got better points on field. So this is why you ranked 263rd overall because you're not going to boost out LDU after round 3 when he's got a 180 break even. He's going shit. Like you're actually going to back in.
He's done it.
Yeah, you've done really well there, man.
5%.
He is a pod.
I mean, if he does do badly, it hurts. But when he gets a really good score, it really benefits. I reckon the rank rise here was mainly a big part was due to that big score from LDU. Well, without sort of carrying on too much, there's the top of the pod ranking. So
it's not going to change for a long time.
I know you're going to come. You're going to come, mate. I'll tell you what. The amount of points there, it's.
I have a stat here, Janath. I've got a stat for you. I know you're a stats man. You love a stat. But Tim Mitchell uploaded the top 10 total points players at this point of the season, coming towards the bye, and he did a poll. How many of the top 10 do you have? Whatever, 9 or more. It was, I think, less than 5% of the comp. I've got 9 of the top 10 players for total points in Supercoach. 9. So there's not many teams with Rao and Merritt and Sarong Ryan, all Butters. So I've got all of them. So the only one I don't have in that top 10 is Trelaw, which I'm pretty fine with because he's a pod.
I've got 8 as well, mate. So we're very similar. You got Merritt in there. But I can see him coming down a bit in cash if he doesn't go gangbusters against Richmond, which is
he will.
He will go gangbusters.
I've said it before, and I reckon we'll see it again.
Yeah,
he loves it. Time, but go on, mate.
He loves it. He loves it. Well, we'll just go on from here. So DR, hopefully, will be able to join us soon. We'll come back to his rant. We'll just touch on some hot topics very quickly, and we'll just start off with some injury news across the league. Just off relevance, I'll just go through them, Spills. If you want to add anything, feel free to afterwards. We'll just start off at Adelaide. Obviously, the big one there is Isaac Rankine. He's going to miss 3 weeks. So he'll probably miss a good portion up until their bye, and that really sucks because he was just
probably a trade.
Such a fine player. He's going to miss the West Coast game, the Hawks game, the Richmond game, and those are the 3 fixtures that I really got.
They're the ones you want, eh? Oh, no.
I really wanted those 3, and he's going to miss all 3 of them. You can't really blame the process, so that's okay. He'll come back for Sydney, and he'll probably get tagged by James Jordan before the bye. So you're like, you get 1 fixture in the next 5 weeks, and he'll probably get tagged. So he's probably a trade.
You've maxed him. You're going to get your money's worth, so it's not all doomy.
At least he didn't score 5 like Tom Green.
Exactly right. Went out in a bang, so yeah.
That's it. Carlton, Adam Sard should be back this week. So Zach Williams was played out of the forward line against Sydney. I reckon that will hold, given he probably had the most pressure of any forward on the opposition out of any of our small forwards. So look to see that stick. Adam Cher's still a couple of weeks away for Walsh owners. At Collingwood, Jordan De Goey is out for this week, and he may abdomen issue, TBC. Tom Mitchell is going to be at least 2 to 5 weeks with a foot injury after his appendicitis surgery. This should really help the job security off your Collingwood rookies. So I know they're debuting 2 more rookies this week, including Will Parker, who I think played for Hobart Hurricanes in the BBL a couple of years ago.
I reckon he might have.
That's new. So he's
2 102k rookies, Janath.
102k
must be good for
Richards.
Rookie. That
must be it. So Richards' job security goes up. Sullivan's job security goes up.
Yeah.
And also Nick Dacos probably just gets an insane number of CBAs coming up in the next couple of weeks. So just one to think about in terms of VC. At your mob, Spills, Darcy Parish out for 3 weeks. Unlucky to anyone that brought him in, but also at the same time, this was always the risk.
What did you expect?
Yeah. And he's going to miss the medal game. So it's just salt in the wound everywhere.
Mate.
Yeah. So in terms of who does it help, Sam Durham was an ankle, but I think, Zach Merritt, maybe Setherfield once he comes back. But is there any others that you think, like Jai Caldwell probably as a forward, could be of relevance, but would you go there?
No, I wouldn't go Jai. I do have a mate at work who started with Durham early in the season, been a super pod. So I think his CBAs will go up, so he'd be stoked with that. But I don't think our midfield really changes all that much. But because I think we just keep Shield. I think because it was the same sort of lineup. I don't think much will change. I think Zach Reid probably comes into the side this week. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him playing some good VFL. I think this is the time where he could come in. People wondering what happens with Nick Martin if Reid comes back in. I think they drop Hobbs.
They shouldn't impact each other, really.
No, I don't think so. But maybe Ridley as well. So what I think was going to happen. Like, I think Nick Martin stays down back, but I think Jake Kelly goes on a wing. And then I think Hobbs and Davey eventually give way for those 2. So a bit of a structure change, bit of DPP, if you will. But I don't think Nick Martin loses that role. That's just what I want to quickly touch on.
Awesome. That's awesome to hear. At Fremantle, Sean Darcy's a test, and Fremantle's head of footy.
Fingers crossed, mate.
Head of footy mentioned that he's going to play Friday. So I guess that's the case. But we've seen this story before with Sean Darcy, as we've seen Darcy Parish. Injured players, injury-prone players get injured. So holding Luke Jackson through this, and it'll really help with the cash gen in terms of if you were looking to bank in Luke Jackson during the buys, you got that 150 now in your price cycle, sort of get a little bit more breathing space there. At Geelong, Paddy Dangerfield is 1 to 3 weeks away. With their bye coming up in round 14, I can see them sort of nursing him through the bye. Yeah, probably wouldn't risk him. This is relevant mainly for Jai Clark, who, I mean, this bloke, I don't know what
scores well.
He can't put 2 games together.
Every time he resets his break even, you get his sub, and then
he's
going to be stuck at 150k all year.
He's going to be he's going to the slowest burn I reckon I've ever seen in a rookie.
Give me something. Oh, it's frustrating.
at Gold Coast, not necessarily an injury, but for those that are thinking about trading Alex Sexton, Will Powell is going to be coming back in round 15. So you have until Gold Coast's bye, which is now, 4 weeks away? 3 weeks away. So 3 weeks. 3 weeks until the round 14 bye. To maximize some Alex Sexton cash gen. So you probably can make 100K there. That's the Gold Coast. Giants, obviously the big talking point there's Darcy Jones, 6 to 8 weeks. He's a trade.
Yeah, rip.
Even though he doesn't have much cash on him, 182K.
I wouldn't even trade. What do you do with him? I think you just use him as a loot
the
for
problem is,
for Darcy.
For a lot of teams like myself, Spills, I've got Jordan Sweet at R3, Cohen Livingston F8, Darcy Jones F7. Something happens in the forward line, kaput. So the trade may be well worth it to get through the bye rounds. Just something to keep in mind.
Thank goodness for Dogger. Oh,
that's it, mate. That's it.
So relieved with that. But yeah,
we'll talk very quickly on Colby McKercher. So just my thoughts on being around sports and understanding sort of player psyche per se. Colby said last week that he's aiming to return this week. Now, if you're the North coach and staff, he's been said TBC. So if he's back, he's going to be back after the bye. Your Rolls Royce has a foot injury. You're not rolling him back out there if there's any risk at all, especially given how much you invested in him, winning that last game and then taking McKercher. You probably take it easy with him. So I can see North Melbourne pushing this timeline as TBC into the 3 to 4 week territory, possibly longer. I just don't see them bringing him straight back off the bye. So we'll get to this, but is it, if you brought in McKercher the week that he got injured, he got you that score, are you willing to trade him out, Spills?
Yeah, well, if he's not playing this week, he's a trade for me. I've held the faith for one, but it's that critical part of the year before buys where we need to maximise our upgrades. And I think 370K is just too much money to have on your midfield bench. And I'm not going to get him this week, but if I want Houston next week, something's going to have to give. So it's unfortunate. It's been a glass half full approach where he did make 70K for me. He did provide a 90 plus when I needed him. So that was a positive, but just unlucky, mate. All comes down to luck sometimes. And I think, as you're saying to me, off air, I think you just cut your losses and palm him on. I think he's already been ruled out this week. I don't know where I saw that. I think on Twitter, but Colby McKercher will not be playing this week. So yeah, I think you move him on.
Well, North have said TBC, so I think it is worth moving on. And Spills, just very quickly, yes or no answer. Is it okay to swallow your pride in terms of trading him in and then trading back out? I'm going to do it this week with Rankine. You just can't help it sometimes. It's just the brutal
That's Supercoach, mate.
way the game works, isn't it?
At least you went out in a positive.
You got the point.
What did he score, by the way? What did he go? 130 something, did he?
Who's this? Rankine.
125.
Yeah. He was on 65. He was on 65 and then he got to 125 at the end.
Yep.
So just as we're talking, we got our spiritual leader here, Supercoach with DR.
Brothers,
joining us, mate.
Thank you for starting off without me. Apologies that I am a little bit late, but I'm not ready to rock and roll, boys. Ready to rock and roll. I don't know where we're up to. The hot topics. Here we go.
I'm just going through some hot topics.
I'll join in, I suppose, mate.
We'll get into your rant very, very, very quickly, DR. We were just talking about Colby McKercher. So he's been TBC'd by North Melbourne, which we was just saying as just being around player psyche, sports psyche. You don't roll out your Rolls Royce if he's not 100%. And I don't think that he's going to be 100% after the bye, just the way you would say it's 1 to 2 weeks if you have a definitive timeline. So we're just talking about, is it okay to swallow your pride? Just for context, DR, you might have missed. I brought in Rankine and Fisher last week. So skip Sorko.
Oh.
And Rankine 60-point last quarter, and then he does a hamstring on the last kick. Just super stiff. But we were just saying, I have to trade him out. Trade him in, trade him out. It's just the way the game works sometimes.
It hurts, doesn't it? It hurts, mate.
But you went out on a bang, so you take it.
True.
That's
He's maximised his cash.
Yeah, well, that at least he didn't get 5. Get subbed out, lose
Exactly
cash,
right.
all that bajazz. Yeah. At Port Adelaide, Ivan Solder's 1 to 2 weeks. So Jordan Sweet's going to be back this week.
Come on, Ken. Come on, mate.
Dante Vicentini
go.
Terrible. So we'll say that Solder's got 2 weeks. We got 2 more weeks of Jordan Sweet cash gen, I reckon. He's got to make up for these last 2 weeks of whatever COVID. I feel for the bloke. He's backed up Tim English. He gets the dream move to Port Adelaide. He has to back up Ivan Solder. Solder gets injured. He gets 2 weeks as the R1. Gets COVID, poor bloke. Gets replaced by a 7-gamer. And now, if he doesn't get in this week, he must be thinking, what on earth what have I walked on? He's walked under a ladder.
Absolutely. I'm out of sweet and sour jokes as well, mate. I think they've been done to death by now, so I'm not even going to go there.
Last week, you reckon, DR?
Oh, mate, I tell you. Yeah, he's been a rough one, hasn't he? Particularly for those that went R2. It was just looking like such a good move. You know, the Romo traders. It's I don't want to bring it up because
don't bring it up. That's just a curse.
Bad memories.
We were talking DR before that. So I'm out here before the game thinking, come on, Sean Darcy, please play. Nullify Rowan Marshall and nullify Luke Jackson in one move. And he doesn't play. Both of them score 150. And you're like, that's just Supercoach, isn't it?
The dagger. Yep.
We'll talk about Richmond because their injury list is very, very long. But just in terms of their midfielders, they're missing a lot of midfielders. So Kane McAuliffe is someone that we'll talk very quickly on in the rookies section, but he's at 148k. He's probably not the worst downgrade option this week if you want to pay up a tiny bit. And then at Sydney, Luke Park has been given 6 weeks by the VFL tribunal. So he'll miss 6. Yeah. Callum Mills is 4 to 5 weeks away. So the Sydney midfielders can still roll. They're good to go for another 5 or so weeks. And then finally, we'll just close up at West Coast, where Elliot Yeo is a test to play. So he should be okay. And also, sorry, just very quickly, Tom Liberatore, 2 to 3 weeks away. So great news for Liber. How this impacts, I think Ed Richards is one that will impact because it's clear that Liber and Ed Richards are very interconnected. Richards is playing really well. Do you take him out for Liber? Do you play Liber off of half-forward flank? It's not really his style of play, so I'd probably stay away from Ed Richards solely because of that. Anything injuries-wise, DR? I know that you just joined us, but anything you want to add there, mate?
No, look, I don't think so, mate. Look, the only, I suppose, discussion, we won't have it now, but what people may need to think about is the different way of Supercoach. You know, back in the day, I think 3-week injuries were normally a hold with someone like your Rankine, but I think with the way that we're playing these days, with those extra trades, I think you probably need to let him go. I think if it's 3 weeks or more, 2 I'd keep. I think it's still a 2-week we keep, but 3 or more, I think you just got to let him go. And 3 can very easily turn into 4 as well. You can't always bank it on being 3 weeks. So, yeah, very unfortunate. I feel for you, brother. But, come on. You're not that sorry for you with your rank, mate. Top 300. I'm not feeling that sorry. Nah,
Listen to this. This is what Rankine's next 3 fixtures would have been. West Coast at Adelaide Oval, Hawks at the G, Richmond at Adelaide Oval. I brought him in for these fixtures and he gets injured for all 3. And then he comes back. Guess who he gets? Sydney at Adelaide Oval. James Jordan probably pockets him. And then he's got the bye. So it's like you get 1 fixture out of him for the next 5 and he's probably going to be pocketed. Well, as much as he can pocket Isaac Rankine, really.
I feel for you,
just sideways into Zorko, mate, and never look back. Whatever.
The magician, the old man.
Zorko's got the bye next week, mate. It's
I know it's tough. It's very tough. You probably
Well, talking about trading out premiums, DR, I'm going to handball it back. We'll go back in time a little bit. What's going on here? Where's your rant headed off this week?
Well, boy, it's going to be very, very quickly. I haven't got the notes here. This is all just off the top of the head. There's no graphic because I was running a little bit late this week. But it's all about the DR trade out curse. It seems, boys, like every bugger I trade out of my side who's stinking it up just gets a new lease of life when they exit DR's Rusty Spoon. So it started off earlier on the year. Obviously, Nicky Boy, talking Hayden Young. The Fish did it to me. when I was a little bit worried about Jack Steele. Look, I knew he'd go all right for the next couple of weeks, but he put 2 tons in a row after 2 sub tons. We all know who the latest man is, Mr. Harley Reid. What a dagger he's been. Even Brody Grundy, I trade that bloke out, and he starts going nuts again as well. So, boys, I'm not going to go on and on about this, but the Supercoach gods are cursing me at the moment. What I recommend everyone to do is look very, very carefully at my trade out options each week and make sure you keep them in your team. Don't even think about trading them out. Keep them in your side because they're guaranteed they're going to go absolutely bananas when I get rid of them. So very quick rant this week, boys. Everyone that I trade out turns to gold. But in saying that, I kept on to my sexy boy, Mr. Alex, up forward. And reaping the rewards of that, my friends. We're reaping the rewards of that. So very happy with the sexy beast, Alex.
That's it.
I thought you were going to rant about Fisher, to be honest, after Sunday.
Spills. We watched that rubbish, didn't we?
Right in front of us, 10 metres away, just
right in front of us.
Sickening, mate. Sickening.
Yeah.
Steps 2 mil out of goal square and kicks it 15 metres.
That's just Supercoach, isn't it, Spills? It is.
Yeah.
I guess just on that note, I'm going to combine a couple of points here. We're going to talk a top liners. We're going to talk buys here because obviously with the buys upon us next week, I just put this little graphic together of the top liners in each of the lines. We'll just go through you boys. I'll start off and just say one surprise that I've seen. F5, Jake Waterman. This bloke is come from the clouds. I was saying last year at Gather Round, the bloke behind us was like, he's got Jake Waterman in his team. He's about one of 110 coaches that had Jake Waterman in their team last year. Well, he was forward planning, a very, very forward planning, 101.4 average. DR Spills, any surprise that pop out to you where they're ranked players, anything like that?
I'll jump in quickly. I'm with you in the forward line, mate, looking at F8 there. Brian Myers, someone that just was not close to being on my radar. I had a question about him a couple of weeks ago on the Stocky, and I thought, Brian Myers, what are we talking about here? But checking out the graphic there, look, the average, it's not setting the world on fire, 93.8, but in the 2024 forward line, that's actually pretty decent, isn't it? But what I'm loving about that graphic in the forward line is I actually own the F1 to F4. I'm not going Waterman. I'd love Rankine in the side. And then I'm probably looking at a McKay or a Curnow, even to probably finish off my forward line, one of those blue boys after the buys. The rucks don't surprise me at all. Well, actually, in a way, yes, because is Brody Grundy now averaging more than Tim English?
It is. It's very disappointing.
Are you kidding me?
Unfortunately, yes.
Wow.
Crazy.
George was just telling us how much he hates Tim English in his team on Sunday.
Yeah, I know. We were chatting with him when we weekend.
It was a rant in itself.
Yeah.
He reckons he's soft.
Can I give you boys another one that surprised me? We're going to get possibly the M3 at 566K.
Don't even.
Matt Rao, 119.3. We'll talk about him in our best value section. But Matt Rao
650, but anyway,
is big value this week.
I can't even get him. My buy structure doesn't allow me to. With who have I got? Walsh, Zeret, and Clary on that buy. It kills me. And I was never meant to have Walsh because of this, but man, yeah, big decision.
That's a good segue, DR, to talk about the buys because I know we'll get some questions in the mailbag about it. So Spiels and I did this little exercise a couple of weeks ago. Let's just go through it once more. Let's go through our buys, figure out which premos we're going to be missing and how many premos right now we have. So I think that's the best way to do it because we'll probably have a couple more weeks of trading to get there. So let's start off with round 12. So this is the buy that North Melbourne, Brisbane, Sydney, and GWS have. Whilst you boys get ready, I'll just start us off. I've got 5 premos missing. So Harry Sheasel in defense, LDU. We were talking before, DR, about how vindicated this feels because I've held him through everything.
We were talking about that at the game, actually. As we were watching LDU's score go up, we're going, Janath's going to be wrapped with this. We're actually, we're all on it, mate.
It's about damn time he did something. Tom Green. So that's 2 in the midfield. Isaac Heaney and Sack Fish in the forward line. So 1 defender, 2 mids, 2 forwards. That means I'll have 4 defenders, primos, 6 mid primos, 2 ruck primos, and then Sam Flanders up forward. So what's that? 4, 6. So I'll have 13 primos minimum that round. You boys?
Beautiful. Yep. Well, for me, mate, I'll be missing Shees in the back line, Zorko, who's currently in the midfield for now, and Tom Green. So that's 3. 4 is Isaac Heaney, and 5 Brucey Rebel as a primo, mate. I'm going to call him my boy. No, well, 4 primos missing.
What a man. What a bloody bloke, honestly.
Disney spills. What a man he is.
Dog.
5
So
primo
happy.
defenders will be available. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 primo mids. I'll have McGorn and Sweet, and then Flanders and Jackson as well.
Cool.
So
you're looking pretty good for that round.
pretty good, mate. Pretty good. Even though I brought in Zork, and that's why another reason why I brought in Zorks and Brucey Boy, because they just suited my buy structure. And I was happy for them to have that first buy. That way they can just cover for some of the tricky ones for me. Spilsy, how are you looking, brother?
Yeah, so the first buy in defence, I'm going to have Shees in common, but I'm hoping, touch wood, Zach Reed's playing. He's in good VFL form. I think he's just about ready to go. So hopefully he can fill a hole in that best 18. Maybe you can, who knows. So that's not too bad. So 1 donut in defence. So Tom Green, only 1 in the midfield with a buy. But we can use a bit of DPP and, I don't know, field someone in the midfield. So shouldn't get a donut there. Gordon Sweet, both playing, which is fine. Zorko, Heaney, and Fisher, who I'm probably going to bring in this week, is going to have the buy as well. But with a bit of DPP, I think we can.
Perfect. So looks like we're pretty good on that.
We're
pretty good on that round. Spills your forward line, but that's the thing. That forward line, it looks like round 12 and 15 are the 2 rounds which the forwards are going to be impacted. Let's go to 13. So that's the mini buy with Freo and Port Adelaide. I've got 2 defenders missing, Luke Ryan, Dan Houston. So got 3 primos there. 2 mids missing, Sarong Butters. I feel like that 4 is very common amongst the top ranked teams. So that's another 6 mids. 6 mids still playing, 2 rucks, and then 3 forwards. So Heaney, Flanders, Fisher. So that's 14 primos at the moment there.
Beautiful, mate. Well, I'm the same. This probably gives you a bit of an insight into one of my trades this week, but I'm also missing Ryan and Houston, my man Dan, coming into the side this week at this stage. So 2 down there, Sarong and Butters with you, brother. And then we've got Dogger missing in the forward line. So pretty friendly for me as well, mate. And always knew that. And that's why I've been targeting a couple of these guys as have been going on. So very friendly for me. Spilsy, how are you traveling in that buy, mate?
Yeah, so Ryan in defence. So, one of Pink or Reed can come on, just see what happens. Hopefully Reed. Should be all good in the midfield. So with Garcia and Revel on my mid bench, I can actually get, Jackson off the field somehow. But I'm pretty sweet there. Like I've got Heaney and Zorko can come up in the midfield, and then when we have Sarong and Butters on the bench, so I won't get a donut in the midfield because of that really nice DPP. Sweet obviously has a buy, but I'm definitely going to trade him by then. So I'm not going to count him. That's when I'm going to elect my R2 for the rest of the year, whether that's English, Grundy, or Rowan. We'll see. And then in the forward line, just Jackson. But I can fix that. I don't think I'll get a donut in that buy round, boys.
Well, the other thing to consider here, Spills, is we're not really worried about donuts unless you don't have 18. So even if you have 21, it's not technically a donut. You just lose. Yeah. So you
avoid that. You avoid just terrible scores. If there's a 50 or a 40 or something, you're probably going to miss it. That's why it's really critical. So
more the merrier.
Yep.
Cool. We'll head into round 14 now, which is one of the challenging ones, I think. So that's Carlton, Essendon, Geelong, Gold Coast, Melbourne, West Coast. So I'll be missing 1 defender, Nick Martin, 2 mids being Tuke Miller and Matt Rowell, 1 ruck being Max Gawn, and then 1 forward being Sam Flanders. So that gives 4 defenders at the moment, 6 mids, 1 ruckman, and 2 forwards. So that's again, that should be 13. But at that point, hopefully you would have sort of accumulated a couple more upgrades to get into that 16, 17 primo range. And then just have a rookie, hopefully have a spike score by that point. You boys, how you guys looking?
Yeah, well, I'll be missing Nicky Martin in defence, and this is where it gets tricky for me. And this is why I don't think I can get Matt Rowell this week. I'm missing Zeret, Oliver, and Walsh in the midfield. So if I add Rowell to that mix, that's 4 mid premiums gone just on that buy. I don't feel like I can carry a fourth. So really, really frustrating there. Gawn's obviously gone for me, and then you got Flanders as well. So missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 primos, but it's 3 in the midfield. I wish it was spread a little bit more, even missing 2 in defence or 2 in the forward rather than that 3 in the midfield. So yeah, don't love this buy, but I suppose we've got, a couple of teams or a few teams that would have already had their buys that we can invest into to make this a little bit easier for us, hopefully. But yeah, not looking fantastic. My worst buy at the moment. Spilsy, how you looking around 14, mate?
Yeah, it's a bad buy, but it's not terrible. So Nick Martin defense is the only real one. So yeah, I bring it up all the time, but I think hopefully get some sort of Toby Pink. I know Zach Reed's got the buy, so probably have to be Pink. Playing full forward, Toby Pink. So hopefully he kicks the bag in that one.
Yeah.
See how we go there. Oliver and Closey in the midfield. So I'm assuming Closey is going to be gone by then, so I won't really count him. But yeah, Merritt and Rao as well, who can go on the bench, but they're already on the bench. So yeah, I'm only really counting who's on field. So technically, I'm going to get Donut and Oliver, which is fine. Gordon in the rucks. So yeah, I think everyone's going to cop that one. And then Flanders in the forward line. So probably going to get Donut there because Darcy Jones doesn't count as a cover player. So I think I'm probably looking at maybe 19 or 20 for that buy.
Cool. That's really good.
That's pushing it though. That's really pushing it. So yeah, providing that Closey's gone and a couple of others. But yeah, it's not too bad. So I think I've set up pretty well for the buys this year.
One of the quick things I'll mention is when you're doing your buy planning, one of the things that I really like to do is don't be optimistic. If a player didn't play this round, treat them as a red dot and that they won't play in the buy. So use them as a luxury more so than a necessity. So if your players, you count them this week and you're round 14, you have 16 players that played in round 10 that will play in round 14, then you probably need some reinforcements in that round. Don't think that, Zach Reed didn't play this week. He'll probably be back in round 14. Yeah. Just treat it as a red dot.
Yeah.
And then if he comes up, it's a good thing, sort of in that way. We'll finish up with the last buy, and this is the buy that I think the forwards really just do cop it a little bit. So we've got Adelaide, Collingwood, Hawthorn, Richmond, St Kilda, the Bulldogs. So across the lines, I've got one defender missing. I think everyone and their mum have them. Nick Dacos, Gunn, Star. 2 midfielders, that's the Bont and Jack Steele. 1 ruck and Tim English. So that's just 4 missing there. But most of the good rookies are in that buy round. So you would have cashed them out by then. So that leaves 4 defenders, 6 mids, 1 ruck, and 3 forwards. One of the things that I've realized is bringing in Matt Rowell this week, I just realized this, but every single buy round, I'm going to have exactly 6 primo mids playing, which feels
good balance.
Which feels good, and it feels unintentional.
That is good.
But if that feels like a good mix.
That's unreal, mix. I'm looking all right here. So I'm missing Dacos and Dale in defence. Bont's the only primo I'm missing in the forward line, and I'm not missing any primos. In the midfield. I'm not missing any primos in the forward line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 primos I'll have on field. And you've got your Sexton there as well, who I'm hoping to keep. That's not including in that 5, and the reason why I kept on to 5 over Reed was just to have that great buy coverage as well. And I think he's someone that can reset that price with his ceiling game. So yeah, looking pretty good in that buy, mate.
Brilliant. Spills?
Yeah, just Dacos and Bont. That's it. So I think I'll be fine.
Beautiful.
Got 2 players.
Flying, mate. Flying.
So one of the things that I was telling Spills a couple of weeks ago is if you've only got 2, you can probably invest in at least probably 1 more or even 2 more players from that buy round.
Yeah.
So if you're looking, if someone like a Jordan Dawson, if you want to not fade Matt Rowell, but if you want to go elsewhere, Jordan Dawson with that run I was talking about with Rankine before coming up West Coast, Hawthorn, Richmond. It's not a bad shout, Rory Laird. But that's why like someone like Rankine would
Trelaw?
be so ideal. Trelaw,
Oh,
yes, Uber
could
pod.
ya?
Nah,
He's,
I'm
Nah,
not
he's,
going
the,
there.
he's the M7 at the moment, but
He's fine.
and so that sort of gives a really good indication of how we're looking at the buys. And I think we're all in a pretty good position. We'll just talk very quickly. D, I was saying at the start of the pod, my aim is to be top 100 after the buy. So I'm going to as always, treat the buys as a 4-week block. So it's not you're 263rd now, being 300th after the first buy round's not going to matter. It's what matters is the rank at the end of all the buy rounds. We'll look at our start and our finish. So my aim is to be top 100 by the end of that round. DR, what's your rank? What's your rank aim, do you reckon?
I'll add another 0 to your goal, mate, and make it 1,000 for myself. So around 1,800 at the moment. Around 800 spots, I'd be pretty happy with, mate, I think.
That's very achievable. You see this massive rank because teams that don't plan well for the buys, it just goes downhill pretty quickly. And teams that plan really well for the buys goes uphill very quickly.
100%, mate.
Rank up?
Yeah. So I don't want to be that guy, but my team doesn't do me justice. I was just telling Janath before he joined the potty, Tim Mitchell actually uploaded a list of the top 10 players for total points, doing a poll, like how many of the top 10 do you have? And then 9 or more was like 5%. I'm in that 9 bracket. I've got 9 of the top 10
Nice,
for total points. The only one I don't have is Trelaw. So I think I'm going to come home pretty strong. So I'm sitting at 9.5K at the moment. By then, I'm hoping 5K, and then we just keep pushing. I've got rid of that bad F6 this week. I'm hoping to get a bit more lucky with my captain, and yeah, those bad rookies are gone. So yeah, I think I'm going to really storm home. I'm hoping I do anyway. Nothing compared to you boys where you're at, but I think there's a long season, and I don't think I can break the top 1,000, but I reckon I can push hopefully towards the top 2 at the end of the season. I would take that every day of the week, but 5K would be the goal for now, boys. Yeah, stay modest here.
Can I just jump in? 5K is a good rank. Like there is nothing wrong in the world with
5K
finishing
is
at
good.
5K. Like some people get a little bit upset around that mark, but what I say, think of how many people are playing 100 and what K? I don't know how many there are altogether.
160, 170, probably 100 because there's ghost teams, but yeah.
Still,
yeah, but you've beaten 160,000 teams. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Part of it is that content creator bubble because you just it's a comparative. Everything is comparative and relative.
You're right.
But your rank right now is good. And for anyone that's in that sort of, you feel like in purgatory because you're not moving. But you are moving. You're going up week by week. You went up 1,000 spots this week, Spills. If you go up 1,000 spots every week until the end of the season, you're going to be in that top 1K. You're going to be
I'll be somewhat glass half full here. So 160 teams in the comp now. Let's say 100,000 of them take it seriously and are not ghost teams. So technically, So technically, I'm in sort of the top. I'm in 9, top 9 out of 100 people.
Yeah,
so I think that sounds a little bit better, but I think considering where we're at, we literally have a podcast on Supercoach. You'd hope to be a little bit better, but look, a lot luck related, boys. Like 2 F6 scores under 10 in 2 weeks in a row, and bad captain. So that's just luck.
Like luck's part of it. I traded out Rowan Marshall 3 weeks ago. It's gone bloody 112, 160 on my head, and it's still going up.
Still in the top 200.
So it's like it doesn't need to be perfect, I'd say. And just with that, very quickly, if we just look at the top line, I'm just going to just bookend this chat with the best value picks here. Any player that you see here that you feel like is bottomed out. So we're talking about Matt Rowell at 560K. Dan Houston, 579K. Jeremy McGovern, 532K. Jackson at 480 odd, I think, was or did he go up this week? So 499K. Even Rowan Marshall last week when he was in the low 500s. Tom Green isn't on the graphic. He misses the cut because of the 5. But if you take the 5 out, that average is very, very good. 488K for Tom Green playing Geelong. Yes, he does have a bye next week, but if he's okay for next week's bye, he's a fine play this week. So
absolutely for that price. Like we're talking Tom Green here.
Yeah.
Like that is it hurts
Green
me so
machine.
much, but because I'm an owner, but surely you've got to jump on Tom Green at that price. That is way too
It's
good
like
to ignore, in my
Oliver,
opinion.
like just too good to pass
Oh, he's
at that price.
bargain,
But yeah.
bargain.
Ooh.
But yeah, look, for me, I think the standout here is Matthew Rao. If you don't have Matty Rao and you can afford to get him in and it doesn't affect your buy structure, I think he's such a fantastic buy this week, Matt Rao. So the other one's Houston that probably stands out for me in our defensive line. So Houston and Rao for me, I think are probably my top two when we're looking at value, I think, for potential.
And before we go into the mailbag, just very quickly touch on the rookies and what we've got to come, because I think this week is going to be a lot better than next week. So in the pink there is the players that we've got on the bubble this week. So we got Shadow Brain, one of your boys, DR, what a cool name. Joe Richards,
isn't it?
We'll just star him because we'll come back to him. Lloyd Johnston as a defender rookie, but he's playing forward/wing. Great story, by the way. Connor Stone from the Giants. Dante Vicentini from Port Adelaide. Oh, jeez. Jordan Sweet. I feel so sorry.
Boo, Dante.
Noah Cumberland from Richmond. I thought he was going to be a really good player when he was first coming in, but he's just hasn't got off the ground just yet. Joel Freyer. Now, this is another one. We'll just put a star next to him.
Yes.
And then one of our boys from last year, DR, I think we said his name a bit too many times
old
now.
Luke.
Like Tyrell
Here we
Dewar, the old defensive forward loop.
Great, that is a
work for
random
me,
loop,
actually.
isn't
He's
it?
also on the bubble.
Yeah.
But really, let's just break it down. I think we've got 4 options this week. Or if you want to add in Bruce Revel, Sullivan types from last week, but we got 4 options. So you got Joe Richards, you got Joel Freyer, and then you got probably the oldest rookie on this list, David Swallow. Last week would have been the week.
One, isn't it?
He was 163k, but he's only gone up 25k to 188 now. Had a bit of that midfield role in the first half. Then as soon as Alex Davies got subbed on for Mac Andrew, he went into the defense line to cover for Mac Andrew. And then also you've got Kane McAuliffe, who got 63% CBAs in that. So he's like the 4th banana in the Richmond midfield, 148,500. So if you're going to pay up for a rookie, he's okay. But again, just that Richmond team, they're going to get smashed most weeks. It's very hard to trust. But then again, he did score, I think he got close to 70, if I'm not mistaken, McAuliffe. So he does look the goods. If we're to rank those 4 boys, just a very short summation as well. DR, I'll start with you. How would you rank Richards, Freyer, McAuliffe, and David Swallow?
Oh, very quickly, David Swallow. Now, that 98 looks phenomenal. You think David Swallow, DPP, under 200K, just scored a 98. What on earth is happening here? I'll tell you what's happened during the season. 57, 51, 38, 14, 35, 7, 8, 36 before that 98. So that really scares me, mate. You know, look, with that 98 in his system and his talent, you know, he's the most loyal son, one of their favourite sons, and good on him. And kudos to him for sticking through with it. And I hope he finds some success late in his career. But for me, mate, those other scores really scare me. I know that lots of them are sub-affected as well. So that would lead me to rank him at number 4, I think, my least favourite out of the lot. Next probably comes McAuliffe for me. You're right. Richmond don't really impress me as a side. It's taken a massive injury toll for him to actually come into the team. I was expecting him a couple of weeks ago, and it just feels a bit of the bottom of the barrel type stuff, and they're reaching at the moment, Richmond. So I'd have him at number 3. Now, I must admit, I don't know a lot about Jolie Boy. So what I do like is his DPP status. I don't like the fact that he's coached by Bevo. I don't know if he's going to be much of a sub risk. I don't know a lot about the pick. So given that, I'm going to put Richards at 1 and then Joel.
I can add something in there for you with regards to Fraser, that watching the game very closely, he is a very rebounding type. So he gets up from the half back line, goes up the ground for rebounding. One of the concerns I do have is the fixture coming up. So the Bulldogs play Sydney at Marvel, Collingwood Marvel, Brisbane at Marvel Fremantle and Marvel, we'll add them in there as well. So four toughish games. I'd say your boys are coming on bounce now, DR. So they're not
Hopefully.
easy, but it may suit a player like Freya at the same time, possibly. And Bevo does seem to give his rookies a good chance. We see Harvey Gallagher is probably one that we missed at the start of the season because he's still in the side. And yeah, just plodding along really. So does that do enough to unseat Joe Richards from the top spot? Or
can I just ask you this question? With Libba being flagged to come back very soon, do you see Ed Richards A, staying in the midfield, and then B, possibly affecting someone like Joel? Because I can't pronounce. I keep on saying Joel because I keep on butchering his surname. Jolie boy, did you think that Richards, the move potentially back down to defence maybe affect him the way that he plays?
You cannot take Richards out of that midfield.
Who goes? Who goes then? Like, are you taking Trill? So Bond, Trelaw, Libba. Did play Libba in a forward pocket? Is it pressure forward pocket?
Like, it's a good mix what they have right now.
I hate it, but if you want to protect the bloke and you want Richards to continue at that midfield, unless he wants to play bloody Bont half forward again and stuff like that, that's crazy.
Yeah. I think the tog will be low for Libba when he comes back. I don't think it'll be up. So I don't mind that call. Yeah, I think the rotation for Richards will still be pretty good, but I just think Libba maybe like 60% time on ground.
Look, it makes it
probably get subs too. Sub risk Libba.
He looked okay. Let me just say with Freya is that he looked okay. He passed the eye test, but I don't necessarily know because if he was a defender, this story probably changes a fair bit. As in if he was a Supercoach defender, because I think defender rookies is where we're really lacking at the moment. Yeah. We just keep getting these bloody forward rookies week on week. It's like so I'm assuming DR that Richards is at one for you, obviously.
Yes, but I'll definitely be looking more into Jolie boy, mate. Because he sounds like an interesting pick. It's that DPP status that's really catching my eye. How about you, Spilsy? Who are you going to rank, mate? So I'm going Richards, Jolie boy, McAuliffe, and then Swallow myself. Any difference in your rankings, brother?
So you're the same, Janath? You agree with DR there? Is that what your order would be?
That would be my order, but I can see that David Swallow could be a rookie we miss. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah,
because you don't just he went straight into the midfield. He went straight. He started the game in the midfield. You don't put they rested him. Dimmer, he's got his rest now, and you don't put a player like that into the midfield without purpose. Yeah, like he wasn't tagging anyone. He wasn't doing it. He was just playing midfield. And like if a defender didn't get injured, he probably would have played the rest of the game in the midfield as well.
Yep.
So just that, but yes, Joe Richards is one. Spills, what do you think about with Goey missing, Tom Mitchell out? Just Will Hoskin Elliott's now injured as well. Elliott, it just feels like every Collingwood it's just something around.
Well, look at the blokes they're bringing in this week. I mean, I don't think Richards is
cricketers.
Legit. So
something about that.
Yeah.
They're good job security. Yeah, you reckon?
Yeah, definitely. I'll go for my rankings just real quickly.
Go for me.
I have Swallow at 4. Not that I don't think he's going to be a good rookie. I just think I'm just going to rule him out altogether. It's just, sub risk, the age, Gold Coast are fly at the moment. There's just a lot of things that could go wrong. So I'm just going to put him to the side, try to count him in this list. I'm going to go a bit left field here, boys. Play a little bit devil's advocate, but I'm actually going to put Freya at 3.
Don't mind that.
The reason why, I think there's just too many players to come back with Bevo. There's too many things to go wrong. I get that he's got DPP, which is nice, but I just don't know enough about him. And with McAuliffe, I mean, McAuliffe's a gun, boys. Just had some off-field problems of injury. Looks like he's come back this week. He's at a very reasonable price. Richmond are depleted. CBAs will be up. So I actually probably like McAuliffe in the short term. But overall, boys, you can't go past Joe Richards at this point. I'm not bringing him in this week, and I'll talk about that later. I just can't. I've got other moves. Yeah, I know, right? I'll talk about that later. But yeah, if there was a rookie to come in this week, boys, Joe Richards by the length of the Flemington Straight.
By the length of the Flemington
Ooh,
Straight.
confident on Joey. I like
There
your
we go.
confidence skills.
I love it.
Yeah.
And just
90
the last
negative
thing,
95 BE, boys. Come on.
that's it. The last thing, just very quickly, looking forward to next week. It may be a good week not to make trades unless you want a defender rookie. Ethan Phillips scored 64 against Port Adelaide, but look at those names. Do any of these fill you with confidence? Ethan Phillips from Hawks, Will Dawson, North Melbourne, Steely Green, Richmond, Matt Coulthard, Richmond. It's pretty slim pickings.
Sorry, Jack. It was the abuse of
That's
poor
got
old.
no idea.
The abuse of poor old Will Dawson was. was
I was wondering what I'm missing.
Nah, it was just.
I was
the
just giving it to him
bloke.
all day.
Spills just
And
picked
Paul
his
White.
target.
On
Dawson
debut.
and Paul. Poor old Dawson. Then other blokes jump on the bandwagon as well. Who are you, mate? What's your name? Oh, it was shocking.
Number 27 was taking a kick. We went out in the full, and I was like, "Who are you, number 27?" Like so loud, and it was so quiet around us, and everyone just pissed themselves.
no.
It was so good.
That Dawson was smiling though. I think he was almost enjoying things a little bit. Remember, he's turning around, giving a bit of a smile at times as
And
well.
the guy behind us was like,
good on
"Don't
him.
you smile? You go ahead and smile or something like that. Or don't you smile?" Oh my god, yeah. So funny.
Brother.
Just about one very quick thing as well to take away from your Will Dawson fandom. Gold Coast rookies, very big thing, because a couple of I know some people think of trading out Sam Closey this week. Break even of 31. Yes, a tough matchup against Carlton, but let me play devil's advocate. He's got West Coast next week.
Don't, Janath.
Oh, not West Coast, sorry.
I'm holding Closey
I'm already
this
locked
week.
into this.
I'm
What are you
holding.
going to do? All right, go. Go the plans.
People's First Stadium. I think that's a good matchup for him. So just to wait and see there. It's just give it a
It's never easy, is it, DR? There's always a spanner in the works. When we
That's
start
the bigger one.
Like sitting in the top 300. I'm going to take advice from him.
They are the bigger one. Darcy Wilson. And this is a big talking point because if you hold him this week, you're holding him next week as well. So this is where the West Coast matchup comes into it. So West Coast at Optus Stadium, you got Demons at the MCG, West Coast at Optus Stadium, both biggish grounds, good for the wingers. I really rate Darcy Wilson's outlook in these next 2 weeks. 76 break even this week, but we're gonna see the 126 roll out, and I think you can give him these next 2 weeks. If you get rid of him this week, you hold him next week, is what I'm saying.
Yep.
In this same sense, if you need to trade out Closey is probably more for trade out than Darcy Wilson is for me personally. That's how I'd rank him. But you may need a defender rookie with Closey. That's the only thing.
Fair, mate. Yeah.
We just gave him to Houston, like me, but that's probably next week.
And DR, can we give a quick shout out? I'm trying to find out whose question it was last week, but the person that was asking about Kai Lohman and Alex Sexton. And they both went 118.
Crystal ball, bloke.
I was telling you,
got
mate.
a crystal ball. What's going on here?
In wins down. He's the purest downhill ski in the AFL. Clearly.
Yeah.
In wins and losses.
Can I just give a quick serve to the bloke that put out the tweet that had this massive? He was so upset that Kai had a bit of a celebration. Come on, mate. Let the young man in a career.
That was ridiculous.
Go nuts. Like,
honestly, what is he on about?
Kai has a bit of a celebration. He's an extrovert by nature. He was up and about.
Worst take ever.
Been having a bloody terrible season. You know, Beast Mode's gone now. Robbo's gone. We need a few more characters. So don't get upset with a young man having a celebration, particularly from Richmond supporters. You guys have been up and about. Give us a spell. Give us a spell. Leave Kai Lohman alone and let him celebrate hard, the young man.
That take from him is worse than Kane Corn's take on Harley Reid last week.
He doesn't train hard enough.
Doesn't train hard enough. Come on, mate. He'd give you a bath if you tagged him. Jeez.
Anyway. You know what's funny, right? They pulled up the data from Kane Corn's the 7th game and he had 2 touches. And then he got dropped for the rest of the season. Then I don't know who it was. I think it was Will Schofield. They brought him back in the next season. And guess what? In his 8th game, he also had 2 touches. So
Harley
She would
Reid's
have had
ceiling a bit
she would have had
higher
a
than
up
Kane.
there. With that,
All right.
we'll head on into the mailbag. Sort of try to expedite this mailbag, DR, because I think we've covered everything. All the
Beautiful,
groundwork's
mate.
been done.
Surely we have. We have.
Let's
Yeah.
just fly through this, mate.
Boys, I was actually speaking to my man Brent on the weekend. He said, you know, the favourite bit of the mailbag when you guys go turbo, just bang, 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 hit them down the line. All right. So what I will
And that's
say
exactly
is
what we're going to do, DR.
we are. So I'm just going to say this now. To anyone that's left a question, thank you very much, legends. Appreciate it. All the rest. We're not going to go the big hellos and shout outs this week just because time is of the essence. So I'll just say it now. Thank you to anyone that's left a question. We love you all. Legends of the community. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, boys. Turbo time with the mailbag. 32, if you don't mind. Let's get through as many as we can. Thanks, everyone, again. All right, John T. G'day, mate. The bring in Sexton debate. I know Spills is thinking of bringing both the sexy man and the fish in. I don't think Sexton's a keeper for teams. Probably agree with best 18 coming short term, 3 weeks with Powell out. Boys, do you think that it is okay? I don't know if you've covered this maybe a little bit earlier. Do you think it's okay to bring in Alex Sexton? Janath, we'll start with you up top, mate.
Probably has 100K to make. That's it. If you bring him in,
Yep.
you probably have 100, 120K maximum to make. He gets to 400K. If you can get from 400K up to a Zorko Ryan, you win the trade. If he doesn't, you lose. He's got St. Kilda at Marvel in 3 weeks. I don't mind the trade.
Beautiful. Spills, anything different, mate?
Yeah, this bloke's right. I'm going to bring him in this week. I'm happy with a quick cash grab because it means avoiding a poor rookie score on field. So he's going Sexton and Fisher in this week. He's going to, with already Common as well, he's going to give me the best swing over the bye. So, yeah, Gold Coast and North have different buys. So that's going to be one of the main reasons I get through the buy. So I'm happy to make a quick 100K and then palm him off. And I don't want to be that guy that doesn't own him. So, yeah, I'm happy with Sexton.
Beautiful. All right, mate. Well, if you're happy with that, bring him in. Go for it. Next one's Lockie. G'day, Lockie. G'day, lads. Love the potty. Trades this week are Howes and Rogers out. Houston and Richards in. Fine for me.
That's
Wondering
fine,
if it's worth boosting to upgrade Wilson to Fisher. Still have 2 boosts. All right, boys. So are we boosting Wilson to Fisher? Spills, we'll start with you this time, mate.
Well, the boys will come after me, but I'm going to say yes. I think you're getting a premium keeper in the forward line. I think Fisher's got the role. I'm bringing him in this week, and Wilson's done his job. So, yeah.
Fair enough, mate.
Gets a rookie off the field and a premium in your forward line. I mean, so Fisher's he's going to be 500K very soon. So, yeah, it's now or never.
All right, you're boosting Spills, Janet?
I agree, but I don't think it's now. I don't think it's now or never because he's got the buy next week. So if you're set up for next week, then bring him in.
True.
If you're not set up for next week, I just pay up the extra 45K or whatever it's going to be after this week in 2 weeks' time because you'll get an extra game out of another player. Whereas trading in someone that's got the buy next week is probably one of the cardinal sins of Supercoach in a way.
Yep, beautiful boys. I don't have much to add on that, Lockie. So yeah, good mate. Good to have Houston in. He's going to be a ripping selection. Good on you, mate. Next man, here we go. Our man Ian. G'day, E. G'day, guys. Love the potty. Appreciate it, man. Is there a clear R2 for the rest of the year?
No.
Okay, let's just have that quick discussion, boys. I don't think there is a clear R2 because I feel like week upon week I'm swapping and changing all the time. So I'm going to give my answer. I don't think there is. Janath, do you see a clear R2 at the moment, mate? Or do you think the water's still a little bit murky after Big Maxi at R1? I
wish there was, and that his name was Tim English, but that's not the way it's working. We saw the data before that the R2 to 4 is ranked within 3 points for each other.
Yeah.
Marshall has 2 West Coast matchups to come up. English has 5 Marvel matchups in a row to come up now. Grundy has looked really good at the SCG. They all have their pros and their respective cons. I don't think there is, and you could probably wait it out if you don't have an R2 right now rather than pulling the trigger. One of the other things you can do is if you want to bring in some English and Marshall both have the same buy, so you could really reassess after their respective buy and make that as your last upgrade as well.
Good call. Spilsy, think there's a clear R2, mate, or throw a blanket over 2 or 3 blokes?
I think, well, kudos to if you held Grundy this whole time because you'd be pretty happy. I know Shorty has, and he's been fine.
Old Supercoach strategy, brother. Old Supercoach strategy.
Janath's done that really well this year, but I think with Rowan, you're going to get the high ceiling, low floor. He can put a donkey score here and there, but then he also goes 150 plus. Where English, I think, is a little bit down the middle, just sort of safe. I mean, he hasn't got the ceiling he had last year, but he's just sort of what you say is what you're going to get. So
but he
people ran on.
Should have the ceiling.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah, pretty much. But I think what you say is what you get from Rowan. I think the people ranting about the Marvel run he's got coming up, but yeah, he's had a couple Spud scores on there, so I think that matchup's a bit overrated. I'm just gonna buff it out as long as I can with Sweet. Even if I got to hold Sweet over his bye, if I'm still unsure, and then just see if one of them hypothetically gets injured or something goes on, or there's a clear form change. But I don't know. I can't. I think they're both pretty equal.
I think what we're saying is, in a nutshell, no clear R2 at the moment, mate.
Which makes it really interesting for like finals this year, because it's going to be like, which one did you get right? Who comes good at the right time? So,
absolutely, mate. All right, next one is from Boyd Legit. Boys, Rao v. Merritt. I will just start off, and I'm going to say Matt Rao, purely because I don't see him playing anywhere else but inside mid. And I just think that his tackle count will just allow him to have a high enough floor to be able to probably outscore him. With Zeret, I think he's still a bit of a tag target. We saw what Shields did to him last week. It wasn't a disaster. But I just like Matty Rao's contested game more, and I see him as a little bit of a safer pick myself. Spilsy, do you disagree? You're going to go with your boy, Mr. Zeret, number 7, the captain?
If it was any other week, I wouldn't be. But because he's got Richmond this week, I don't think they're going to have a matchup for him. He's going bananas.
How about overall, though? So if you can only buy one, we're talking rest of the season type thing here.
I'd go Rao.
Rao over the season. Yep, Janath.
Yeah, I'm going Rao. Yeah.
So I'd go Rao as well. Part of it is I've got now 2 Gold Coast mids sort of monopolized in because of the fixture. That Gold Coast fixture is super soft. They've got West Coast, North, and Richmond to come again. They don't have Geelong, whereas Essendon have Richmond, West Coast, and Geelong. So it's you are paying that sort of thing.
Could they send an O'Connor to him though? They're a little bit shifty sometimes. Geelong,
very much
they
so.
do that. Blitzarv's been tagging a little bit here and there, so
yeah.
Geelong do worry me a little bit for his
tag threats. They both are tag threats. I'd go Rao. You're paying what? 42k less. Merritt's got the high break even as well. You could even wait until post buy for Merritt. But the thing is, I think it's pretty safe to say, and you can't blame yourself for this. Merritt's going to go big this week. It may be about how big, but you can't blame yourself for not bringing him in this week, just purely based off of that.
Yep. Beautiful, boys.
Couldn't agree anymore, Janath.
All right. Next one is from my man Kai Broom, the sweeper. How are you, buddy? Very, very good BBL player as well as Kai. Biggest question, and this might be, it's not called the Broomy. I haven't actually said it to Kai, just the sweeper just came up with that there.
There you go.
The biggest question, and this might be easily answered, is how do we plan to navigate round 14-15 when we've got 5-6 promos? We have talked a little bit about the buys, I think, already, guys. But,
big time, I think.
What we're probably the advice is, mate, is just to try to get that really good balance, I think, mate. There's not much we can do about it. In my case, for that round 15, because I'm struggling, I'm just making a hard decision not to jump on Matt Rao because I just think that will affect me too much. So you may need to make some tough decisions, mate. It's killing me that I can't jump on the man at such great value, but it just depends what you're willing to sacrifice. Boys, anything that you can add for my man Kai here at all?
Yeah, maybe even consider sideways trading. Like if you've got like a Jack Steele, like my plan at the moment is if all things go well, no more injuries, is Steele to Merritt in that round 14, round 15 juncture. But again, a lot of things have to go to plan for that to work. So we'll just wait and see how things go. But something like that, you could have that as a contingency to get you out of Dodgeville if you don't have enough players playing that week. But just adequate planning in these next couple of weeks is important. Yes, there may be a player that's more value, but if they don't fit your buy structure, just don't get them in.
Bit of sideways action. Yep, beautiful. All right, next one is from the coacher. Hey, lads, who to grab out of Rao and Dan Houston? Better buy. Yeah, okay. So do we think Rao keeps up his average for the rest of the season? I don't see any reason why he can't. Janice already touched on that really nice fixture that he's got coming up as well. When you're talking about Real or Houston, I think this is very team dependent. Where are the biggest holes in your side? I think that Houston's the best defensive buy, maybe along with Fisher this week, and Real is the best midfield buy, probably along with Tommy Green for me, in my opinion. So I think that I'd be really happy with both. Maybe check out that buy structure as well, mate.
If he didn't have Ryan, I'd say Dan Houston like every day of the week. But it just depends like who he's got.
Even if
Because
they
they're
did
both
have Ryan, you could have both of them and still feel...
Yeah, it's a friendly buy.
So
I'm gonna say Houston.
Low key, honestly,
But
tough. Tough question. Team dependent. And see, maybe what you can do is if you grab Houston this week, you get Merritt next week with his lower break even in one more week or something like that, where you could just work your way around and hold one of those round 14 spots. They feel really precious at the moment. One of those premium spots. Yeah.
Not bad advice. Play the break-even game. I like it. All right, here's the legend himself, Kato. How are you, mate? I like the g'day here. G'day, gents.
Hey.
Only one more week before mid-season buy start. How's your mid-season buy rookie breakdown splits looking? Mate, we've absolutely gone through that. Had a whole section on that, brother. So there's that one. And DR, go Hawks. I'll tell you what, Hawks are our bogey side, Kato. I went with my man STS last year. Kato, if you go into the game, mate, please let us know. Would love to catch up for a cold one or two, mate. Steve-O and I are definitely going to get there as well. And anyone else at the game, please come and say hello. Looking forward to that one. Cheers, legend. Appreciate that, mate. Our next one is from another legend. Had him on our community podcast. It is Begsy. How are you, mate? Good, thanks, buddy. Really struggling to decide between Houston and Cumberland. I'm saying it, Fisher.
Fisher.
I think I prefer the roll gold Houston, but going Fisher probably helps upgrade my team a little bit quicker. I would love some thoughts. Glad to hear you're going well, dear. Thank you, Lincoln. I appreciate this. Boys, I must admit something. I was going to put this sneaky question in myself. This is my decision this week. I need some help. Yeah. So I'm with Begsy here. Spilsy, we talked about this, didn't we, on the weekend, mate? We were talking about trades and going from Houston to the Fisher.
It's not going to be what you want to hear, mate. It's not going to be what you want, like this answer. But I'm going Fisher because Fisher's going to... He just fills that absolutely basket case F6 spot, like just helps it even more. So there's that. Houston's got a 97 break even. So even if he scores well, he's not going to necessarily go up too much, you wouldn't think. Next week, he'll still be very cheap. So I'm planning for Houston next week. I've already sort of thought ahead there. But Fisher, because this week, I mean, I don't want to pay any more for him than I am now just because of what he's done in the past. So sorry, DR, but I'm going to go Fisher.
I hate it. I hate the logic. And it's really bad that I say this. But you can't be bringing in Zach Fisher this week and Dan Houston the following week. You're bringing in players that are buys.
I know it's the worst. It's the worst time, isn't it? Like
that's the reason, DR.
That's why I'm looking at Sexton though, because he sort of helps that out a bit.
Next week, so swap it around. But it's like it really depends how much cash gen you have. How's your team value looking? If you've got 50K to burn, then Houston this week, Fisher next week. Easy.
I'll tell you, to be honest, why I was thinking Fisher. In current form, I'm viewing him at the moment as my D6 stopgap with a future hope to potentially be my final F6 in my side. Okay. Yeah. So what I'm looking to do now is potentially get that F6 and just cover that hole that I've had housing closey last week. I just can't get that spot right. So I really want to close off that D6 position. When I say close it off, even fill it for now with someone that I'm confident with. So that's the only reason why I'm thinking Fisher. I know I've missed the boat a little bit, but given the fact that he's got that DPP status, I've already got Sexton up forward as well, which is a little bit handy. So that would be my thoughts behind if I was to go Fisher over Houston this week, that I see him. I don't see him being a premium defender, but I can see him being a top 8 forward. Like we got Brian Myers there,
even top 6 forward. DR. He's coming. He's scoring really well off that role.
You know, that's my logic anyway.
Is 117. That's
and it coincides with Sheasel's move. Like Sheasel's moved out, Fisher's come back, and he's scoring well. Like it's such a lucrative role. And Spills and I were looking at him, Janath. we're right behind him, right behind the goals on the weekend, and it was honestly sickening. It really, really was. So that's the main reason behind why Fisher would really enter my discussion. Houston, I wouldn't be jumping on the week after. I'd probably just have to wait it out with Dan Houston.
That's the thing. You can't make up your mind, say Fisher this week.
It's so
Houston
bad. The buys just killed everything. Like, because it's they're on a platter, but it just
the
cover's good. But
and one of the things, and I'll just bring this up because I know last year watching Houston play us, he scored 176 against us last time we played them. He's got us next week. So North this week, Carlton next week. He may get away from you by the time the buys come. And it's not so much playing devil's advocate, because this is what I do in the position as well, is if I had that 50K Begsy that you to play around with, I'd go Houston first, Fish after the buy, and you solve both cases, because you're going to get Fisher in. It's not like you're going to skip him, because he's not. Let's hope he's not going to go 134. I've got him in, and I can't see him going 130. But Supercoach projects him to score 102. He'll go 47K, so he'll be 490K. You can get your F6 at 490K. You'd say that you'd take that in a heartbeat. Post buy,
different way of
without
looking
a buy
at it,
as well.
Because I'm thinking like it's this week or never for Fish, but you're right. When you put it like that, I don't know how more confused I am now. Oh, Begsy, good luck, mate. We'll have a DM, mate, because I'm exactly with you, mate. Let's nut this out together, buddy. Cheers, mate. All right, let's go Turbo now. Dazza Hall, one of my favourites. Hey, mate, good luck for this week, boys. Who are your top 6 defensive forward that aren't currently top 6? Oh, I'd need to have a bit of a think, but for me, I think Fisher is definitely one. And the other bloke's probably Charlie Curnow that I'm thinking for a forward. I just really like him. I like the way he's been put behind the ball. When Vossi just needs to shut up shop for a little while, I think he can get some extra opportunities down there. So they're probably the two for me. Spills, anyone that you can just think of quickly off the top of your head, mate, that's currently not in the top 6 that you think's got potential to make their way in, brother?
probably just have to agree with you there. I can't fault it. Fisher, for sure. That's why it's so tough. I mean, he's got his buy at the worst time, but so cheap. And I think he's going to come home really strong. So I'm going to say Fisher. It's tough, though.
Janath?
Fisher's a good one. Someone that we haven't talked about that we saw at the end of last year do really well, Nick Newman. We talked about him in the preseason. 564. He scored 147 on the weekend. He probably won't have the exact role, but he's gone 148, 90, 147 last 3. So he could get into that range. And then, it's like a Hayden Young, perhaps. He's looked better. But again, he just has this ability to just put out a 65 at the worst times. So, I'm just not sold, really.
All right, mate. Well,
Zach Fisher's the one.
Zach Fisher. So, Daz, hopefully there's a few random ones for you there, buddy. Anthony Mullen, hey, mate. Hey, guys, only used 1 trade last week. Very disciplined. Well done, mate. Am I able to trigger that and have 3 this week? Why not, mate? Or it can only used at finals time. No, look, mate, I've run out of boosts.
They're there to be used.
So, mate, you can absolutely go for it, mate. Don't have to save it. John O'Carroll, hey, legend. How are you, mate? G'day, lads. I love to you all and you, brother, and your families. Thank you very much, my man. Trades and he's a lovely bloke, John. Absolute legend. Houston and Frieger in for Howes and Wilson. Team is now needing 4 upgrades. Exciting times ahead. Bryce Structure's looking great for me too. Go Saints. Hey, boys. I'm guessing we're all going to give the thumbs up to those 2 trades for our man Jono. Yeah.
Just a very quick one though. We John O'Carroll, big shout out, new YouTuber. He's on the YouTube scheme now. So Saint Binger Supercoach. Check him out.
Was that his thing that he was going to reveal?
That is his thing. So
Jono, some inside word, Jono, mate.
Saint Binger, I don't mind. That's a good name. I like that
name.
Binger Supercoach.
Saint Binger. It's got a nice
great name. Great bloke, great mind. So good on you, Jono. Hey, mate, we will be tuning in, my brother. We will be tuning in. Thanks, mate.
Yep.
Next up is Maxi. G'day, Maxi. Thankfully, traded in Sexton last week. Thanks for Janet's advice. Well done, brother. Houston or Zeret this week?
Houston.
I'm going Houston.
Houston.
Yeah.
Need some
Houston.
context on how the round 14 bye is looking. I think any questions that come up next week or any of the bye weeks, you have to say how your bye structure looks because we need that information really.
Yeah, that's a good point. Hey, look, what I will say, Max, and I think everyone will agree, both great selections, mate. So
yeah,
all the best, brother. Now, this man here, Butch Cohen, we may know him as Brent, has finally entered the Twitter sphere here. Good old Butchie, Brent Butchie Cohen. Hello, my mate. G'day, lads. Love your show. Thank you very much, brother. Thoughts on going either Marshall or Houston? Have to go one. Gee, come on, Brent. This is a bloody doozy, bloke.
Have to go one.
Has to go one. Did you just bite the bullet and jump on Marshall in current form?
Oh, jeez.
Who's his R2 now? What has he got? What's to go? Like, what?
Oh, look, I don't know.
I need a bit of context to this question. That's all.
All right, sure. Brent Oss, we'll have a chat separately, mate. Spills and I are going to jump on, mate, and we will have a good old chinwag. Janath, can you?
We'll be there. I'll be there as well.
All right, beautiful, mate. Sorry, bloke, we gave you absolutely nothing. You know how much I love you.
He's not commenting again.
Yeah, that's right. Good old Butchie Cowan. On you, mate. Much love to my grandson, beautiful Kira and Tyler as well, mate. Max again, hey guys, a bit stuck in these options. What are your thoughts? Thanks. Dawson and Richards in for Howes and Sharp. I like keeping on to Sharp. Or Marshall and Richards in for Sharp and Sweet. Well, I'm going the first one because it involves Sharp and Sweet. Number one for me, mate.
Looks good.
Comprehensively.
Looks good.
I'm going hold Sweet.
Dawson for that run. He's going to go gangbusters.
Yeah, it's number one, mate.
Don't remind me. I've got bloody
Sorry, DR. Sorry,
what a bad buy. Yeah, thanks, guys. Number one, buddy, for us. Danny, g'day, legends. Thoughts on who's better to grab this week, Clary or Fish? Oh.
Fish in, yeah.
I'm going a bit of Fish and chips. Spills?
Fish and
I'd say, yeah, Fisher. But I think Clary, like,
it looks good.
Had to be done 2 weeks ago.
Didn't he? Yep.
Would want him. I wouldn't have got him the week after because he didn't look that great. It's kind of like he's sort of mid 500s almost.
He's still only playing high 70s%.
I don't think you bring Clary. I don't think Clary's a good trade in at all. But he is for 470. For 470k, he is. But he's nearly mid 500s. Like
yeah,
you're not another 40k, and you got Dan Houston. I wouldn't even worry about Oliver.
Yeah. So, alrighty, we're going the Fish, mate. Good on you, buddy. Yep. CR7 legend, how are you, mate? Is it worth holding on to Rao for this week? Oh, sorry, holding out on Rao and grabbing like Fisher instead. So basically, the question is, should he go Fisher this week, Rao the next, or just jump on Rowley? Janath, you just brought him in this week, I believe, mate. What do you think in regards to that question? Being a really recent owner of both players.
Yeah, well, I'm bringing in Rao this week, so I haven't brought Rao in yet. Yeah, look, he's got a 116 break even. Shout out to Pig Mentality from the
I was listening, and I was very surprised about this, mate. Go ahead.
I'm very surprised.
I know exactly what you're going to say about your boys.
For the first 5 rounds of the season, Carlton were the hardest matchup for inside mids. But since then, apparently we've been the easiest matchup for inside mids by points. And if you think about it, I was thinking that cannot be right. And then you look about it. I'm like, Sydney. Chad Warner went 175. Heaney went 120. Goulden should have gone 120, but he butchered it. And then you think Collingwood, Dacos went 140. And I was like, all right. I see what's happening. So I wouldn't be too worried about that. But you can hold on for one more week with Rao. Because he doesn't have the bye the following week, you got that 2-week buffer sort of thing. And I don't mind it. Yeah, probably go Fisher this week, Rao next week. But again, at the same time, there's a big possibility that Rao is a VC candidate this week against Carlton based off the data that Pig Mentality, shout out to you again, legend, has brought up.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Spills, any difference from you, mate? Or are you happy for the Fish then, Rao?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thanks, mate. Can we trade Colby McKercher ahead of Closey this week? Spills, would you be prepared to trade Colby over Closey?
Yeah, Janath touched on this before. Really good point.
Oh,
I
sweet.
was
Yeah.
expecting Colby to be hopefully back this week. It was sort of reported on Twitter about an hour for the potty that he's going to be ruled out this week, and he's got his bye coming up. It's probably one of those injuries where you're not going to see him after his bye. It's 370k. My trade plans will be on the pod later, and it's not involving McKercher, but after that, I think it will be. So, yeah, I think I'm going to be trading McKercher out this week. So, yeah, I'd go Kirch over Closey.
Cool. Alrighty. Next one is from Kuran. Hey, how are you, mate? Hey, lads, got my beanie this morning. Absolutely love it. Thank you for your support, brother. Really, really appreciate that, mate. And so does the RCH. Thank you, my man. My question is regarding Luke Jackson versus a Fish in the forward line. Can't avoid Zorko. I'm going with Fish over Jackson unless you really need that extra ruck cover, I think.
One Darcy's back this week as well.
Yep, beautiful. Any disagreements to that, guys? Going Fish over Dogger?
Yep,
beautiful. Thanks, mate. And thank you very much for support, mate. And if you're comfortable, no pressure at all, feel free to send us your pics so we can add you to our wall of fame. Cheers, brother. Our next one is from Cooper, Fishy Coops. Surely he's got the fish, this man. Get our lads hopeful as well. Thanks, mate. Maxi Holmes, is he going to be a genuine pod? He's around the 10K rank 10K rank, and he's looking for a pod. Spilsy, do you think there's any merit in looking at someone like a Maxi Holmes if you're looking to go a little bit different to rise up the ranks, mate?
Probably not. He's not a bad pick, but I don't know who don't you have that everyone else has at this point. You sort of like for me, it's probably Houston. Sure,
you look at McGovern maybe as a pod if you're looking at a real pod.
Yeah,
maybe actually
someone that's already got the runs on the board. Like
yeah. I would go exactly as you said Janath. Naz with his nice, really terrific. It just was it last week?
Is a good one.
About
like
5
Naz.
dummies in the one plate. It was built. It was such an elite piece.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was near the boundary line somewhere. But I really like your call there of either the Gov or our man as well.
Gov is probably the value defender this week after Houston.
Yeah,
he may be one that we're overlooking, and obviously you can't go wrong with a player that the great Skodfather has either in McGovern.
Absolutely.
And also, if he gets injured at 3/4 time, you probably get 20 scaling in the last quarter anyway.
Isn't that? Don't even get me into it. No, not even going to get into it. Cheers, Coop. All the best luck there, man. But we're not huge fans of Maxi Holmes. Very talented player, though. Yep. Next one is from Telly. Hey, man, can we consider trading either McKay or Kuno in round 15 for the great run home? Absolutely, mate. I think that's what we're all got in the back of our minds, probably after that bye. Look at one of these blokes, depending on who's in form. Both agree, fellas?
Yeah.
Which question? Oh, yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Next one, mate. If McKercher is back in round 13, is it silly to trade him as D6 to join Oscar and finish off mid? All right. So if he's back at round 13, are we keeping him? Do you think, boys?
I think he's rid of him this week.
You got it.
Trade him in.
Okay, yeah.
Trade him in.
That's just rubbing it in.
Not off an injury, a foot injury. He's probably not back in round. I can't see him back in round 13. Even then,
nah.
You're almost looking to finalise your team by then. I don't really see the real.
Yeah, we'll see that value there. Next one, JB. Hey, lads. Thoughts on double down this week? Worth giving Wilson the flick in to get a primo? Look, I think we're pretty keen on holding Wilson, but I think it's okay. Playing for leagues.
Don't double down this week. Even though the rookies next week aren't great, you still want to keep that upgrade cadence going just before the buys, because otherwise every single buy round, you're going to be one primo short of every other team.
Absolutely. Keep that upgrade cadence going, brother.
And,
cheers, mate.
And the other thing is that next week, we're probably not looking to make a double up, because every team is going to have a buy in the following 4 weeks. Oh,
yep. Love it, mate.
Yeah.
All right. Holding or trading McKercher, trading at this stage, brother. Cheers, Fraser. Appreciate you, man. See you later. And quick question from me, boys. Houston are the 2 best traded primos to get this week, taking into account all factors, price break, even average, etc. For me, yes. I'd answer that with a yes.
Yeah.
Any different? And I'd add Tom Green into the mix as well. If you
could add McGovern. Yep. I'll just go left field and add McGovern in there.
And the Gov as well. All right, 4 options for you, brother, that we think can be really fine.
And Fish,
thanks,
obviously.
And the big Fish. Well, we'll probably count him as a bloody that frustrates me when I started him. Next one is from Ting. G'day, Ting. Hey guys, want to know your thoughts on Meek? Is he a top 5 ruck, ultra consistent, higher floor, big ceiling? If you have, when would you trade him, if at all? Well, I think that what we've really been saying with the rucks is let's just wait it out until we're really, really certain. So I've got no problems whatsoever with trading Meek at the moment. Can he finish top 5? Well, I think it's him or Cherry that's got the potential to, maybe a late blooming Wits. What are we thinking there, boys? Any quick thoughts on whether or not we think we're holding for now? Easy?
Just because you don't know who the R2 is going to be until someone puts their hand up or gets to a good value. There's no real point trading Meek because he's probably keeping par. Like if I'd rather have English, I'd rather have him over English at the moment. But but
absolutely.
Maybe is that always going to be the case? Like, just depends.
Easy hold, I think, buddy.
And the other thing is he's maximizing good matchups, and that's something you love from a ruckman to see is when you get a good matchup, you just take full advantage of, and he's doing that. So can't blame you.
Unlike Max Gorn last week. Bugger you, Maxie.
Oh, mate.
All right. The Angry Chihuahua, one of the biggest supporters of our channel. Thank you very much, mate. Hey, legends. Looking forward to discussion this week. Hope you're enjoying, man. Can you hear your thoughts on one, trading back in Harley Reid for those that booted him? And Jack Crisp versus Jeremy McGovern. Jack Crisp is not a bad call. Someone I'll be focusing pretty heavily on in the stock market this week. So, look, there's no way I could trade back in Harley Reid. We've already seen before that big score made a couple of 59s, and I just don't think he's going to have the consistency to trade him in at that price. On Harley Reid, Spills, is there a world where you'd trade the man back in next week?
No. He's done his job.
Done his job.
Not going to be a top 6 forward. Well, he might be, but I don't think he will be.
Yeah.
I don't think he will be. Not enough to trade him back in. So
yeah. Janath?
No, I'm not doing it.
I don't hate it, but I can't go there. It's like swallowing your pride. Like doing it with Nick Martin was at least after a couple of weeks. Doing it the week after is like just come on.
It's true. With the fish for me this week, it feels like an eternity ago. But number 2, guys, Chris
very quickly on that. All these guys that we touted in preseason to do well, they're showing up 10 weeks too late. Yeah. Like Young, Martin, Fisher, Ollie Wines to an extent. So just thoughts go out to him with the heart palpitations. But absolutely. Harley Reid is going crazy. Yeah.
Unbelievable, mate, isn't it? Unbelievable, these blokes. Very quickly, Crispy or McGovern? Are you bigger on McGovern, Janath?
Gov, just for me, but I can see why I'd go Crisp if the buy is an issue. The round 14 buy is one that you just don't want to have too many primos in. True.
Spilsy, any things to add on McGovern or Crispy, mate?
Well, if I was picking one of the other, or one or the other, sorry, it's getting lame, buddy. Slow me words here. I'd probably go McGovern over Crisp.
Yep. Sweet.
Personally.
Beautiful. I think we're done after 2 more, guys. Beautiful. Luca. All right, mate. Me again, rank. So quick go this one. Couple of questions. Option 1 is to prioritise fixing up dead rookies on my bench. Option 2 is bring in Fisher with the idea of him being a keeper and be the one to upgrade close to finish.
Oh, wow.
I can also bring in Sexton over Fisher. Any thoughts on this, boys?
Oh, that's a good question. Wow, that honestly, it's a tough one because ahead of the buys, you don't want to have Jones and Marty Hoare on your bench. They're not going to play at all throughout your buys. Whereas Graham may be a dead rookie. Like, can you see him getting back into that Gold Coast team?
Well, one quick thing that I'll say, let's not just assume either that Friedger and Richards are going to be in there.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Like, these aren't rookies, and this is what happens at this stage of the season. The rookies are usually pretty speculative, or else, unless injury, they would have been in the side. We know there's different sides, competition for spots and all that sort of business. But the rookies that we're getting in at this stage of the season, I think it's very dangerous to assume that they're not going to turn into dead rookies themselves. So
good point.
I think that's just something to keep in mind. Just because they're looking to get a game maybe this week, next week, or in the short term, doesn't mean they're going to be there in a month. So I like the idea of it, but just be careful in replacing dead rookies with guys that could potentially be dead very soon as
especially
well.
for a boost as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Those boosts are really, really like gold, aren't they? And I've been playing potentially doing an aggressive approach. What's this one here? Trading out Meek. No, do not trade out Meek, mate. You wouldn't say that you against this boys here, or you like it?
You'd get Sweet on field. Let's just have a quick look to see when Port Adelaide play in the round. Yeah, they play the fourth game, so I think you'd have to make some of your moves before them. If they were playing the first game, you could sort of have a look at Sweet's score. That's to say if does he even get back into the team, and then you're back at square one if he doesn't.
Sorry,
so...
Crazy Frog. Sorry. Yeah, you're right, mate. You're right.
Yeah. So
all right. I think this is the last one.
So which option did we go with, by the way? 2.
I'm going with the second option, Closey, Graham, and Powell for Houston, Frieder, and Fisher. Myself. Yeah. Both agree, boys?
I agree, yep.
Beautiful. And we are going to finish with 2 absolute legends of the community, Jules Crazy Frogs and our man H. Looking very nice on that beanie, H, as well, brother. Hey, friends, what do you think of these trades? And team round 12 is my worst buy. Wow, that's a little bit different, Jules. Wilson and Sheasel.
Oh, no.
For Real and Fisher.
No.
That doesn't help your round 12 buy, does it? Getting Fisher in for Sheasel?
It seems very sidewaysy to me. Like, Sheasel, he's not going to have the highest ceiling, but he's not terrible.
Yeah, Cherry and Grundy.
Yeah.
Gee, it's a pod setup, isn't it? Cherry and Grundy.
Look, love Jules. He's a ripper bloke, but I hate those moves. There's no way.
Could you go Cherry to Marshall and sort of help out that round 12 setup?
Yeah.
All right, so Jules, maybe look into the old Cherry to Marshall, maybe, mate. Something to consider. Yeah. What I love about Jules is he's always thinking outside the box. Look at these.
Yeah.
You've got the Moore Pod and these type of guys. That's why I love this great man. And he enjoys playing the game. Someone that just really enjoys the game. And was leading Supercoach for a few rounds as well a couple of years ago. So good on you, Jules. All the best with that, brother. And we'll finish off with our man H. How are you, mates? G'day, lads. Is it time to trade McKercher? Post-buy return could mean anything. Yep. Well, I think that we've pretty much said yes at this stage, mate. Need to decide between Merritt and Houston. Either trade will leave me with one upgrade in my defense or midfield. So if it's this week, boys, are you going to go Zerrett or Houston to finish off our mailbag for this week?
Houston.
I think Houston.
Houston and Houston.
But Merritt's going to go big this week.
Merritt's going to go big, but he does have a high break even, and Houston's very much at a very good price. Top 4 defender.
Yeah,
so, and Merritt's had all of his good runs too. Like after Richmond, it starts to get a little bit more difficult where you got to take that into consideration.
So what we're saying is get Houston and do not watch the Essendon game this week, H. Don't watch your boys run around. Just quit football for this week.
I'll be watching them. I'll be watching them. I'll be hopefully Captain Merritt.
Number 2 Spills.
You were saying, so you got Richmond and then 2 tough matchups, Gold Coast Carlton, and then West Coast Geelong, and then back into the tough matchup. So it's like
I think West Coast are pretty. I don't think they're terrible though.
They're not a walk in the park. It's at Marvel. Never know, but yeah.
All right, boys.
Great mailbag, boys.
That is it for the mailbag. Well done. We actually got through all those fellas. Pretty impressive with that. So thank you again, guys, to anyone that did ask a question this week. Janath, on to the captain's corner, brother.
Yeah, we'll just fly through the captains because I don't think there's too many standout options this week.
Yeah.
So the Bont against Sydney, does he get the Jordan tag? I think the Jordan tag may go to Bailey Dale. So the drive off of halfback. Hard to really tag them.
He's
well,
Dale's
pod. Someone. Ed Richards.
Yeah, I knew this investing into him. Yeah, all right, keep going, Janath.
Who would you tag, DR?
Dale.
Well, I mean, they got to tag someone, right? They tagged Sam
Jack
Walsh
McRae. I don't know.
Jack McRae.
Tagging all your boys at this point.
Yeah.
Tag Tim English. Bloody hell.
Yeah, tag Timmy boy. Slim Tim.
Oh, man. But, yeah, look, Luke Ryan against Collingwood's undersized forward line seems very, very tempting at Optus Stadium. I could see that being a good score. Could see manning up Mason Cox and absolutely taking intercept marks aplenty. Nick Dacos in the form he's in at Optus Stadium. A great VC selection, but I think my VC will go on Sack Butters against North at Blundstone Arena. Now, look, he could get the Liam Shields tag, and Shields did do a good job on Sack Merritt, so that's just something to note. But Sack Merritt's just he's just in great form at the moment. But if you own any of the Essendon players, Nick Martin, Sack Merritt, just whack it on them. Richmond are giving up bulk points to anyone really this season.
Yeah.
And I guess that's really where the selections I'm confident in end. But then you've got this Saints Melbourne game, and you got both rucks going up and against each other. And you saw that Max Gawn is really tempting because of the fact that they lost. And
I'm
the
giving
fact they
Gawn
lost,
a bit of a
he's gonna have a
spell for a
bounce back
while,
game.
Janath. Bounce back game. I said bounce back game about Gawn 2 weeks ago. It hasn't happened. So I think I'm just going to overlook Gawn for a little bit now. I'm still solid, but I can't go past Butters VC and then into Merritt against Richmond. I just can't go past it.
I'm actually going against you boys. I'm going against you boys because I want Merritt as my VC.
Yeah.
I just think
but I feel comfortable.
I don't want to have to take a score before that. I'm always going to be thinking, what's Merritt going to do? So I'm actually going to go Merritt into the Magician, Dane Zorko, for me this week. I'm going to pod. I'm getting a bit of a pod going here. As JD said, get a bit of Zork on your fork. So I'll be getting some Zork on my fork this week in regards to my captaincy. But I'm pretty confident that Zerett's going to do the job. I'm just worried that I'm going to be, having this decision. Do I take this 125? I just want it. VC Butters, who I think could be the biggest scorer this week, into Zorko. So
VC Merritt, you mean?
Yeah, get the VC.
VC Merritt or Butters?
Yeah. I'm VCing Merritt. I'm going Merritt into Zorko myself.
So I think Butters either sort of goes average with a tag or just explodes against a very poor side. So I think
you're probably right, Stills.
There's a bit of high ceiling. If it goes bad,
depends if Shields is named, really. If he's named, it's clear that he's going to go to Butters. Who else are you going to you could tag Horn Francis, but again, Horn Francis is going to go forward, and Shields isn't going to go into defense, so he's going to tag someone in that midfield.
Zorko's really safe too, I think. But other than that 56, which was ghastly, that was because of the role change. Other than that, he's been right there with Flanders in scoring consistency. So I like that concept. I think the play would be if Shields isn't named, it's Butters all the way. But if he is, I think that's where you could elect to VC Merritt and just hopefully you don't need to use your
seed. That's not a bad call, actually. Looking at team sheets and Shields. Yep.
You could even add some of the Gold Coast boys in here. I didn't do it for the sake that the Supercoach gold data didn't look too good against Carlton, but the recent data does for Matt Rao, Tuke Miller, Noah Anderson types. And just that last thing, there's DR, on behalf of Sackmer and non-owners, can I please rent a couch? Because there's going to be a lot of hiding for that Dreamtime game.
Mate.
It was like that for the Brisbane game, not owning Zorko.
It's so tough, isn't it? Some players are such a tough watch when you don't own them. Like Luke Ryan, for those people that haven't owned Luke Ryan this year, he's been a dagger, you know what I mean? So
every week.
Yeah. Love it, mate. So, there's our advice on the captains this week. And as always, big shout out to the third man up and our man Roscoe as well. Let's finish off, boys, with some trades.
Yeah, I'll jump in straight away. I'm probably going to change these trades completely. So take it with a grain of salt. After this potty, I don't know what I'm doing, to be honest. It's up in the air. Even Sexton's been in my plans as well. I probably look to trade McKercher now over Closey. I think I'm sort of locking that one in now because I know McKercher's not playing. Cadman, he's got to go as well, but it's tough.
Cadman.
I kind of want Sexton over Richards because the problem with Richards is I don't want like Richards and Jones and I think Darcy all in the same forward line with just. I need a DPP. I can't get another forward rookie. It's just Richards is a really good pick, but I don't want him. I can't. It just really screws me up a bit. So I don't know.
Would you go Freesia? How about Joel if you want the DPP? I know you had him lower in your rankings. Would that maybe sway you over Richards to get that DPP, maybe if you're worried about those
Probably, but
maybe
risky.
Something else you could look at, brother?
Yeah. Maybe instead of trading Cadman, I trade Closey and McKercher and then bring in maybe Sexton and
Houston.
Not
a bad shout. But you don't want to hold Cadman spills. Like he's just leaking
cash. He's got
You're undoing all the good work that you did a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it's tough.
He's doing nothing, mate. He's doing nothing on field or off field at the moment, Catters.
I think what I could do is like just loop Jones or loop Darcy and Richards this week, and then next week put Wilson in the forward line.
Great call. Probably. Doggies have the first game.
What does Cadman plus McKercher get you, Spills?
Hey?
What can Cadman plus McKercher get you?
It can get me, I think, Houston and probably Richards. I think I can get it done because, I can get it done because I got 100K in the bank if I elect to go like McKercher over Closey. So I could do that trade with 30K in the bank, but I kind of want to keep Closey as a bit of a point of difference because he does have West Coast and coming up, not this week.
He doesn't have, I said that wrong, but he doesn't have West Coast. Wilson has West Coast coming up.
Oh, yeah. But no, Closey, I just have a feeling that he just pulls one out.
The spike score in him,
He's a really good player. It was tough conditions. I think he can reset his break even before his buy. I think McKercher's more of a trade over Closey.
Yeah. So it seems like I've got a few options anyway, Spilsy. Well, it's going to be pretty simple, boys. It's Closey and Graham. They're going to be out for me. And it's either going to be Houston and Richards or Fisher and Richards and bank some more coins. So that's the big decision for me this week. I've got Houston at the moment because it just makes the team look so much better just for now, for my own viewing experience when I'm checking out some stuff there. So, it's either going to be Houston or Fisher for me. No real other considerations, to be honest. It's going to be one of those two boys. Janath, just one for you, brother.
At the moment, yes.
This is so sad that you have to trade him out, man.
I've got a question here, Janath.
I genuinely feel sorry for you because it was such a good move and it would really set you up with your rank. I'm not going to bang on about it, but
it's all right. It happens. It happens,
much, brother, with that.
It was 200 IQ until he did the hamstring.
Until he did the hammy. 15 seconds to go, man. Damn it.
Yeah, whatever. It's all good.
I do have a question about these trades. So obviously, direct sideways is what it is. You're not going to upgrade this week. Why not Richards? Like, can you bank some money for next week?
Oh, no, that's the plan. Is I could easily do Jones to Richards. It's just considering, like, whether or not getting 60K from Jones to Richards worth because Jones isn't going to help me in the buys. Richards plays in the final buy. Has the final buy, so he's going to help me in the first 3 buys if he holds. So that warm body could make all the difference. Could be
about like Garcia to Freya or something like that.
Nah, I wouldn't trade Garcia this week. He hasn't done anything wrong, Garcia. Yeah. I think he's.
Guess he can't. Yeah, can't argue that.
But if one's to go, it'd be Jones.
Because he's got no Luke Jackson DR. He can't really afford to have Richards and Jones in the same forward line. So like if something happens, his full cover
not Richards. I kind of right now have Jones at F7, Livingston F8, Sweet R3. Like if something happens,
that's what I mean. Yeah, that's sort of what I meant. Like you,
Jones is
team dependent for you, mate. Team dependent for you.
For one trade.
Okay, let's just say, Janath, if you had someone. Okay, so if you own Aaron Cadman. Would you be trading in Richards for Cadman? It's not that you're not a fan of Richard. Am I getting this right? Yeah. So let's just say in that position. Sorry, what I'm getting at here.
Yeah, I get your point, mate.
Are you still a fan of Richards, but you don't think he's obviously that important, like he's a must-in this week? You're not really strong on him, obviously, if you're not trading him in.
He is. Here's part of it was also the injury report wasn't out when I sent you this photo, so I didn't know how long Darcy Jones was out for. Hammy,
Oh, okay.
3 weeks. Part of it, but like, yeah. The thing is, he hadn't made enough cash. I didn't trade out Jai Clark at 185k early in the season because he hadn't made enough cash. So I'm like, Jones, but then they'll look like thinking about it theoretically. The only way I can get cover is by trading out a forward, getting Sexton down and doing that. But there's so much voodoo and optimizer stuff that needs to go into it. The easiest way to do it is to get a Richards or a Freya in this week and plonk them at F7. They can provide cover. They can be a fresh body during the buys, be that 21st, 22nd, and possibly even get a spike score like we've seen with Richards against West Coast. I mean, Collingwood's fixture coming up. Fremantle, Bulldogs, Melbourne, North Melbourne in the round 14. So in the really tough buy round for a lot of teams, they've got North at Marvel. So that could be a spike score that we need on field from Sullivan, Richards types, but you're banking on them actually being in the team at that point, which is sort of the only downside. But I mean, with these injuries, forecasting 3 weeks into the future, there's no real reason they are the first ones out when you got debutants that have played footy for 100 days are coming in, really.
Yeah. Good point, brother. I've just very quickly had a look at you. I've never used a trade assist button. They're saying to me, out Darcy Jones and Wilson and double down to Richards and Frazier with 471k in the bank. No, thank you, boys.
What
Thanks anyway.
What? What do you mean? Who designed that feature?
Who designed?
Boys, I think I'm pretty set on my trades now. I've been tinkering around while you're talking there. So yeah, I'm probably going to bring in Richards and Houston this week, bank 100k, and then Darcy plays. So I'm going to loop Darcy with Richards, and then Combin's my F5. So pretty solid there. Next week, bring Darcy Wilson into the forward line, and then I don't think it's going to be dead at F6 for now anyway. So
I like what you said there, Spills. Next week. Please, everyone, when you are organising your trades, look at how your team or how you want your team to be looking in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks.
Because I'm probably going to trade Darcy next week, most likely. So I got it. So like Wilson will probably come down for him.
It depends how he goes, doesn't it? Like he goes another 90. Yeah. Like I doubt it against Sydney, but if he does, you've probably got to bloody
nearly 400k. Like take the money. Like I don't mind if he's done his job.
Yeah, fair enough, brother. Fair enough.
And also, just before we cut off, before we finish it up, if you're playing with loops, I'm just gonna as from personal experience. Well, if you're playing with loops, don't be too smart because. Like, for instance, I've got Riley Garcia at F7 now, and there's a possible chance that Colin Livingston is the only non-playing player this week. So if Garcia doesn't do too well, and I need to get a VC score, that means I'm probably going to have to take Garcia's score as well. So in that scenario, way up is the 35 from Garcia plus the VC score going to be better than the captaincy score that's going to follow. So it's not just looking at your VC in isolation, but who's coming off your bench at the same time as well. So just something to keep in mind, guys. When you're playing around with your loop, sometimes we just play around. We're like, it's gonna work 100% of the time, but other times, that's the little point that we forgot, oversight that we only see in the second last game of the round.
Great point, brother. Hey, we've got about 30 seconds until the 2-hour mark. So do you want to sign us off, mate? See if we can get this done in under 2 hours officially.
We are the absolute worst. We were trying to finish at 10 o'clock. It's now 10:35 p.m.
Sorry, Spills.
That's right,
we had DR come in halfway through.
I'll be a zombie on the forklift tomorrow. Here's what it is.
He's like, OH&S. Bloody hopefully no one's listening to that, mate.
With the buy rounds coming, take it easy. You know, you can always make those late changes. Send through any questions that you have to us. DM us, at us. But as always, you see the lovely beanies that Spills is wearing. Gear up for the winter with one of those beanies yourself. We're going to be
buy one. They're very good.
We're going out of them pretty quickly. So make us sell out. We'll get them more in. We'll get more in, and this will continue to roll. So hope you guys all have a great week. DR and Spills, any last words of wisdom?
No, just guys, all the best of luck. Remember, Supercoach is only a game, so don't let it get to you too much. We have our good weeks, our bad weeks. But I think that our community this week, we're looking good, boys. We are looking good. Hoping to see some massive scores out there in the community as well. So, yep, cheers, guys. Spilsy, send us off for the week, brother. What words of wisdom are you going to leave our listeners with this week, mate? What do you got for us, Spils? No pressure.
Captain Zach against Richmond Saturday night, and go Dons.
Beautiful. Well, like that, we are out again. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in again. Thanks, boys, for starting this without me. I was a little bit late this week. Hopefully, I'll be a little bit more punctual in our next episode. So take care, guys. Much love. All the best, and we'll see you soon in the next one. Cheers, lads.
See you, boys.